I'm going to work on a client's website today, and she wanted to make a payment plan for one of her coaching products. And I'm going to walk you through that process on how you can set it up using Numu. And just like other platforms, you generally have to duplicate your product, add those payment options, and then create a custom checkout opportunity where they can choose whether they want to pay in full or they want to choose the product with the payment option. So let's walk through those steps. The first step would be going to the product that you want and duplicating it so you can create a payment plan. So I've opened the product, I'm going to clone it, and now you can see we're in the clone. You can tell because it says copy. So maybe we'll just change that to payment plan. You can also hide this product from the store. And I think in the case of higher ticket products, you maybe don't want those showing in the store. You probably want to have a sales page and guide them through the process. But if the product's not hidden, then they will be able to see when they go to store, they'll be able to see the regular price, the one payment, and then this one as well. Hidden doesn't mean people can't order it. It just means it's not showing at your domain/store. But you can still set up these custom checkouts that I'm going to show you how to do. So maybe we also want to give it a new name, payment plan, so that we know immediately when we're looking at it. The only other change that you need to do here is to change it to a subscription product and say the amount of the payments. So we're going to do $650. It's going to be 2 payments of $650. So we got subscription product, and we're going to do 2 payments total. And it's going to go every month, and then we're done. So now that's going to be 2 payments of $650. So it's all set. And here, if you have a custom thank you page that your original product went to and that still works, then keep it as that. This one happens to go to a coaching, book your coaching call. So if that's where you want people to go, just leave that as is. If you want them to go to a different page, then you would create another page. And on here, there are already people being tagged as the transformation coaching. You might want to add this extra tag of saying they are on a payment plan, just so that if they are. I personally would have the transformation coaching tag for everybody and then have a separate tag. But if you want to only have people on one, totally up to you. It's just that I think having one tag that identifies all the people who bought a certain product, doesn't matter how they paid for it, would get the same tag. So that's all that needs to be done here. So now we have that product that we can make this with. We need to go over to the builder up here. And you can do this with any page. You could set up a page, you tell them about the product, then you put your custom checkout widget, which can be added to any page. You'll see in a second. The widgets are here. You could see the sales widgets here. And this is the checkout, where we're going to give them the option of choosing one or the other, as opposed to having them go to the store and then this is making the flow go better. The easiest way to do this is to add a funnel to your site, because we do have sales funnels with the sales page and the checkout page already ready for you. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go under My Sites and Funnels, and I'm going to put Create a Funnel. And you can see we have a fill in the blanks product funnel. So this product funnel has a sales page, it has a thank you page, and it has members areas pages if you need. The registration page has the checkout widget on it, and we're just going to adjust the settings to what we need. There are other funnels here. If you look under sales and product funnels, looking down here, if you like the look of them, you could do them. They're just not fill in the blanks, and they're for generic physical products and stuff like that. Like you can just pick whatever you'd like. So I'm going to go with this one because I think it's going to be the easiest to use. And I'm going to choose that. And then I'm going to call that the transformation journey. And now we have the funnel. And we can see it has the registration page, and it has a couple of course members areas pages. Now, it is residing outside of the funnel. If you go over here at My Sites and Funnels, you'll see it. It's at the bottom of the list if you've added other ones into your account. And you want to put it into your website if it's part of that store, right? because this funnel will have its own store if you keep it separately. You want it, put it in the main store and have all your customer information together. So we're going to go move to website in this project. We're going to put it in the website. It's going to pick up all the colors. It's going to pick up the header and footer. And it does warn you here. So if you've added store products or done contacts and stuff and you move a funnel later, that stuff doesn't get moved. So you would have to take care of that. But we're going to just say yes because we haven't done anything. And now it looks just like the website that we had. It's got the header and the footer, and it's picked up the nice background color. So this sales page would obviously need to be updated, and it does guide you through like kind of an information product or a coaching kind of thing. And you can set it up however you'd like. And then this is where we would want to update to facilitate the payment option. Now, you can possibly do 2 order buttons and actually present them, their 2 payment options side by side. That requires more work. So we're going to just do this super simply, where you would update the text here to say 1 payment of $11.97 or choose a payment plan, 2 payments for $6.50. And then maybe you want to change the text here, choose your option. And obviously the styling can be updated as much as you'd like. And then we need to go open on click. It says it goes to the next funnel step, which will be the get started one. I actually like to specify the page, and we'll look at how the pages are ordered and stuff. I personally like to do that to decide. The reason it says recommended is because it always goes in order. And don't worry if that doesn't make sense. I will show you later. You can decide how you want to do it. This is always my preference, is to specify. All right. So now when they click that, they are going to be redirected to the custom checkout page. I'm going to save this, but also remember to change all this text. So now when I'm looking at the pages again, I'm going to the registration page. And of course, you probably want to change the title here related to your product, all the settings there. This is your internal title, always remember, and this is what appears on search engines and what will appear also in the top of the browser. So there's text to update, but what we are concerned with here is this widget. So this is the checkout widget and how it looks. We will need to update the settings here. So we will, first of all, choose our products. And we want to have 2 products. We want the transformation journey and we want the payment plan for the transformation journey. You can also add bump offers if you have other things in your store already that you want to add as an impulse buy. You can walk through that process, click edit there. So what we want also is to allow customers to choose the product to buy. Okay. And so there's different styling things you can do, and we're going to look at that in just a second. So now when you see this, you can see there is no choice here. And that's because this is a 2-step checkout. It asks them for their payment information first, and then it lets them choose the product. I think in the case of a product where you've already told them their price, there's no options, this makes sense because you just want to keep the form simple. But on this, we want them to choose. So we would go under styling here, and we would go to 1-step checkout. And when we do that, the choice appears here. So now they'll be able to select between those. I'm just going to quickly save. And the other thing you want to look at here is the other settings of this form. So we're going to settings, and it's going to go to next funnel step. And in the case of this particular funnel, because the client has already got a page that has her booking form, which is where people go to, we're going to change that. We're going to put it under pages, and we have the private coaching schedule. That's where we want it to go to. And that page is actually not in a funnel, and I'll actually show you that you can actually move it into the funnel if you want to have everything all together. So right now that exists in the regular pages because it was made before the funnel was created. You don't need to do a tag here because you've already specified the tags. And they will get a specific tag based on which product they choose. If you put tag customers on a new order here, it's going to tag everybody who used this form. So that's something to keep in mind. So when you did it at the product level, it will tag them based on the product they've purchased. You can also add a list here, and I would add them to the list for transformational coaching. And now we have the form ready. And the other thing you might want to do is have them register for an account so that they can log in and later check their orders and stuff like that. So you can click that there, because then if they already have an account, they'll also be able to log in. Okay. So now let's look at the funnel settings. So we can see what's inside this funnel by going here. And we can see that's the sales page. It links them to here. And the reason when it says next funnel step, it means you can move the pages around as much as you'd like. And the reason I like to specify is because I rarely move them around to want to do that. I'd rather, because sometimes funnels are complicated and you have different pages, I prefer to specify. These pages, in the case of the client, might not be useful. And this is where you could delete them if you don't want them, because they're going to that booking form instead. The other settings you want to look at here too are, we have named it. You can put a specific social sharing image here. So if you have a product graphic, you might want to put it there. Otherwise, it's going to pick up what's from your main website. So you don't have to change that either. And then the domain, you definitely want to look at, because it'll pick up the name of our template. It says Academy template. So you want to change that. We probably want to put transformation journey. And now we have that. The other thing I said I'd show you is that we could look at the pages. So we have under pages, regular pages, we had that private coaching schedule. So what we do here is we would move, because it's used for, this is used for multiple products. So you may not want to move it into the funnel, but let's say it is for that specific funnel. You just can move to funnel, and then you choose the funnel right here. These are the funnels that are in your website. These are all the funnels that exist outside of your website. So we would put it to transformation journey. In the case of this client, because she's using that same form for different products, you might not want to do that. But what you can do is duplicate the page and then move a specific page to the funnel so that you can welcome the specific people who purchase the transformation journey. You would use the same widget, because if it's the same schedule and people are just booking based on one schedule, you'd use the same booking widget. And let me just take a quick look at that to tell you what I mean. So we have this private coaching schedule, and this is a booking widget that is tied to a specific appointment thing. So that may be the same across different products, right? So you're using the same widget, it's sending them to the same place, but you're just going to duplicate the page so that you have it inside the funnel and it makes sense, because this can be added to multiple pages. And if that sounds complicated, then just leave it as it is. It works, right? Because you can specify where they go after they make an order. The other thing to note is under funnels is that this funnel is actually not active. Generally speaking, if you add new funnels, they will be active and you can pause them and you can change the settings. The reason in this case that the funnel is not active is that the client there's 5 funnels available in the plan, and they've used up 5, and some of them are outside of the website. So what you do to turn it on is you click the gear icon and you can say make active. In this case, because there are 4 other funnels that are active outside of the website, one of them has to be turned off. So this is just to let you know if you run into the same problem, because if you go to My Sites and Funnels up here, these are all the funnels that you have. This at the top will be your main website, and it has 2 funnels in it. If you guys are adding our free Funnel Friday stuff, maybe you have a lot of things in here that you aren't using. So all you would do is choose which one and make it inactive, and then you'll be able to use your funnel that you have inside your website. So that's basically one of the simpler ways to offer the payment plan. It sounds like a lot, but once you put this into place, you'll just be able to duplicate it over and over again. And it's just a matter of duplicating that product and creating that checkout where they can choose their option. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. We're happy to troubleshoot and help you through the different parts of the process.